Hey everyone, this is your stimulus check update, second stimulus check update, and stimulus package update for Tuesday, August 4th. Where are negotiations on the next stimulus bill, and on what issues are they still divided on? Will there be a holdup on the second stimulus check because the House and the Senate can't reach a deal? Will President Trump renew the eviction moratorium and renew unemployment benefits without Congress's approval? What can you do if you still haven't received the first stimulus check? All these questions and more is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. For those of you that have subscribed to my channel, welcome back and thank you so much for being a part of our community. I am close to 40,000 subscribers now, which is pretty amazing considering back in the first part of May, I had 10 subscribers. Not 10,000, but 10. So I thank you so much for subscribing and being a part of this community. If this is your first time to my channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. And if you find this information helpful, be sure to hit the like button so that YouTube will share this video with others. On Monday, for the 6th time in the last 8 days, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer met with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to negotiate the second stimulus check and the next stimulus package. Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin are the intermediaries between the White House, the House, and the Senate in these stimulus talks. The Chicago Tribune reports, said Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, "We are really getting an understanding of each side's position, and we're making some progress on certain issues moving closer together. There are a lot of issues that are still outstanding, but I think there is a desire to get something done as soon as possible." And they also reported, "It was productive. We're moving down the track. We still have our differences. We are trying to have a clearer understanding of what the needs are," House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said. "Millions of people in our country are concerned about being evicted. Tens of millions of people are on unemployment insurance." The talks are moving along, but it sounds like they're moving along quite slowly. Senator John Cornyn, a Republican from Texas, said regarding the talks, "I can't see how we can go home and tell people we failed. So I think that's going to be a lot of pressure on everyone to come up with something. It's a matter of will. It's not a matter of substance at this point. This is just a painful period between people finally deciding, okay, we want a deal, and then what the deal will ultimately look like." Senator Cornyn is optimistic that they are going to get a deal done because neither of the sides want to look bad, and neither of them want to go later on and to this recess after August 7th without having a deal done. As part of the stimulus bill that was proposed back in May by the House of Representatives, the HEROES Act, they called for $1 trillion for state and local governments to receive financial assistance. The Senate and President Trump have both argued that many of these states and local governments were already experiencing financial difficulties before the pandemic ever happened. As part of the negotiations for this next stimulus package, Mitch McConnell has argued that they want liability protections for schools, hospitals, and businesses so that they cannot be sued for coronavirus infections. All of these issues remain. The biggest division still seems to be the unemployment extension. As a reminder, the $600 unemployment extension is a benefit that is given by the federal government as part of the CARES Act, and it expired at the end of July. But this benefit is given on top of what the states are already giving for unemployment insurance. States, as part of unemployment insurance, they give out benefits to those that have lost their jobs, and they continue to do so even though the federal unemployment insurance expired. So people are still getting the unemployment insurance that they would have been receiving even without the pandemic. Both sides do want to extend the unemployment insurance, but it's a question of how to do it and the amount that they want to give. The HEROES Act that was proposed by the House and approved by the House back in May simply extended the $600 per week unemployment insurance. However, the Senate has complained and argued that this $600 per week is a problem because many of the people that are receiving that $600 per week unemployment benefit are making more money to stay at home than they would at their regular jobs that they lost previously. Regarding the unemployment extension, Nancy Pelosi said that they would consider lowering the $600 unemployment benefit in some states that have lower unemployment rates. She's basically saying we can give out this $600 benefit in the states that have high unemployment rates and a lower amount in states that have a lower unemployment rate or less people that are unemployed. The Senate wants to reduce the unemployment benefit to incentivize people to get back to work. This continues to be one of the major talking points that the Senate has been issuing. And I personally have heard of actually people that have decided to not go back to work because they are making more money. And in addition to this, I have talked to some people that have said they want to go back to work even though they're going to be making less money. So I do think it is a problem, although not everyone that's receiving that extra $600 or was receiving that extra $600 was just deciding to stay home. A lot of them do want to get back to work, but it is a real problem that people were being paid more to be on unemployment than they were at their regular job. The Senate has offered to reduce this rate on a long-term basis as well as a short-term basis, but as of right now, the House has completely rejected those proposals. In addition to the differences on the unemployment extension, Nancy Pelosi said that the talks yesterday also included considerable talks on reopening schools. And Chuck Schumer said that the discussion got into the details of the dollar figures involving school aid and food aid. Opening schools is one of the issues that they're also discussing because the House wants to give aid to schools whether they open or not, and the Senate wants to give aid to schools only if they reopen. Otherwise, they would give the extra money to the parents of those kids that are in areas where the schools are not reopening so they could do homeschooling or some other schooling in a different area. Regarding the eviction moratorium, President Trump said, "A lot of people are going to be evicted, but I'm going to stop it because I'll do it myself if I have to." He told this to reporters at the White House yesterday, and he continued, "I have a lot of powers with respect to executive orders, and we're looking at that very seriously right now." So Trump is threatening to use his executive powers to renew the unemployment benefit as well as the eviction moratorium. The question really is, does Trump even have the ability to do this? And at this point, I would say probably not, but it looks like he's trying to figure out a way to do so. Later on yesterday, President Trump did say that he was optimistic about negotiations that were going on when he said, "We are having a very good discussion with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, so hopefully they can reach a deal." As the second stimulus check of $1,200 is going to be part of this stimulus bill, it is critical that something happens and that this stimulus bill actually gets decided upon and passed this week. The timeline I've been giving for the second stimulus check is the 3rd or 4th week of August, but that is completely contingent on the stimulus bill being passed this week by August 7th. If they can't pass something by this August 7th and the Senate decides to take their recess that they're scheduled to take, they won't be back until September to start negotiations once again. I really don't think that that's going to happen. As I've talked about before, both the Democrats and the Republicans have their national conventions in August. I don't think there's anywhere they're going to have these conventions without passing a stimulus check beforehand. And those are later in the month. So I think they're going to broker a deal, and maybe it's going to be a few days. Maybe the Senate just delays their recess for a couple days, and maybe something early next week is when they get something passed. But I'm confident that they will get a stimulus bill passed over the next probably week. Basically right now, both sides are playing chicken and waiting for the other one to flinch, and neither of them are really flinching. The economic well-being of millions of Americans are on the line right now as they're waiting for stimulus checks, unemployment benefit renewal, and the eviction moratorium as people are worried about being kicked out of their apartments and homes. If you are still waiting on your first stimulus check, the IRS is continuing to send these out as direct deposits are going out each Wednesday. So tomorrow is another date for direct deposits to go out. And for those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits, and those that don't file taxes, I suggest you use the non-filers tool. I've had a lot of questions from people that are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and VA benefits, wondering if they really should use the non-filers tool or not, because the IRS website tells them that they should not use it. But if you're on one of those benefits and If you do not file taxes and are not required to file taxes, please use the non-filers tool if you haven't already for the first stimulus check. The non-filers tool will let the IRS know where to send your paper check or direct deposit into your account. So fill out the non-filers tool, and if you still are waiting on your first stimulus check and you don't have a payment date in the Get My Payment tool, you need to call the IRS. Keep calling the IRS and be persistent. Try calling in the evening, try calling in the early morning. Those are the times that I've heard are the most successful for people getting through and not having to wait on hold as long as other times during the middle of the day. The stimulus hotline number is 1-800-919-9835. You want to make sure that your first stimulus check is taken care of. Once this next stimulus bill passes, people are going to be calling the IRS for the second stimulus check as well. And you don't want to be fighting those people on the phone and trying to get through to reps with people that are calling about the second stimulus check. So call as soon as you can on the first stimulus check and keep calling until you get an answer to your specific question regarding your payment. I know you guys are struggling. I know there are so many of you that are just trying to figure out how to feed your family and to stay in your house or apartment. And I'm so sorry for that. I've been reading a book called The Happiness Advantage, and this book talks a lot about the power of positive thought and also the power of gratitude. Look for the good things that are around you. Be grateful and try and write down those things that you're grateful for each and every day. Look for things, and as you're looking for things that you're grateful for and the things that are positive in your life, you're going to start seeing some opportunities. You're going to start seeing things that really are going well in your life. And I know that as you do that, it is going to bring more happiness. And as you look at the positive things in your life, it's going to make you more happy and you're going to be more grateful. And a grateful person is a happy person. Thank you once again so much for watching. I do appreciate all of you, and I will talk to you again soon.